Oh, man. A parallel port? When's the last time you've seen one of those? Today we have some computers, as you can see in front of us. But today we're doing it trying to get some things working. Not just because they're old, we found them in a closet getting to work. We want to actually get these working. But some of them are kind of ancient. This one right here is probably from around like maybe 2005.
Discover the Dell Dimension XPS.
Could be actually earlier than that. This one has FX chip, might be from around 2012. And then we have this little mini PC. We're not even sure what's going on with this thing or what it is or what's in it. We know it has a fried chip of some kind, but we'll figure it out and see what that's working. Either way, the plan is to get maybe all three working. That's like best case scenario. Let's dive into it. Let's see what we're wrong with these things. Make sure to stay tuned through this whole video because you actually might learn something about solving problems and getting computers working. This is kind of like the middle of the road computer. We think this is probably the most capable. It's not the newest. The small one's probably the newest, but that might not work at all, but we'll find out. This one has, I think, the best chance of actually booting up and getting running. So we're gonna go and tackle this one and see what happens. But first things first, let's get the back panel off. Sorry, the front panel off. Or I should say side panel, front panel, side panel, backwards panel. Anyway, let's look into this machine. So we can see it has a GTX 980, which is an amazing graphics card for the time, and a completely overkill power supply. Other than that, we have 4 sticks of RAM. Looks like they're about 8 gigs a piece, so that's not bad. It's 32 gigs of RAM of DDR3. I'm guessing might be around 2012, which is really, really good. Quite a powerhouse at the time. When you're looking at things like this, obviously you see a mess of wires and everything else. But that's not so much the problem. I don't see any frayed wires. I don't see any of that. What I do see, though, right away, is a stick of RAM that is not seated. And that can cause all kinds of problems. Most time it will not even boot. But it did boot somewhat, though. But let's, there. And see if that actually solves our problem, which I actually think it will be. Which will be a super easy fix. And that's one of the most common things. A lot of people don't realize that, like, they'll put RAM in and they'll push it in because they're too afraid they're gonna break something. But you'd have to listen for that snap, that those clips are gonna clasp on the edge of it and they're gonna hold it in place. You're not gonna break anything as long as you have it in the right orientation, because you can only put RAM in only one way. Okay, let's see what we got everything together. We're gonna give it a shot and see what happens. Shot and see what happens. What in the heck? Oh. All right, let's give it a shot and see what happens. Okay, we have a pretty modern BIOS here. Temps are not terrible on this thing, so okay. Let's see if she'll boot, everybody. Taking a little bit to boot here for an SSD. Okay, so, all right, everybody, we're gonna do something here. We're gonna power down. And we're gonna see if this thing works or not. We're gonna do it by a few ways. Oh. Linux. Yes. Now the thing is, do I have any with Linux on it? I'm gonna have to plug them into your computer to find out. What is what? Because I have nothing labeled. I have my own pathway I like to diagnose things. And obviously the first step of diagnosis is always coffee or tea. I don't make the rules. That's just how it is. Second step though is figure out what's going on. Obviously when we booted, it went to try to boot into Windows, got half pay there, went black. The one thing that tells me something is obviously probably corrupted on that SSD. So really quick way to diagnose to make sure nothing else is wrong with this PC is, you know what I do? I get out my bag and I pop a copy of Linux in there. Usually I have a copy of Linux usually on me. Pop that in, run the live version of Linux, see if everything's running on the PC. And if it is, that means the PC's fine. It's most likely just the SSD, or we need to reinstall Windows or install Linux, whatever the customer wants. But as you can see, this seems to work out. The computer seems to be running fine. We just need to get a new OS on there. Okay, so as you can see, we got with the client. They don't mind Linux being the operating system of choice. And since we're already booted into it, might as well just go ahead and install Linux Mint. And after that, we can go ahead and install Steam, and it can be a viable gaming machine. This system's actually up and running where it was not running before. Let's move on to the next computer and see what we can do. Next PC, the mini PC. This little tiny boxy thing that does have a light. Comes on. Well, it shut off. There it goes. Anyway, we have a light. Let's see if we can actually get power on. Let's see if we get anything because we detached the Wi-Fi card, and we'll see if that does anything because that was clearly burnt. No, it's getting power. Oh wait, was it getting power over network? I think it was getting power over network. Let me just plug the network card in. It may be powered over network. That's kind of cool.
Oh.
Oh. I don't know what that screen was. That was weird. That looked like definitely some artifacting by a big margin.
I wonder if there's something wrong with the power solder connection.
No, I don't think that's it because it was staying on, obviously, with the network connection on there. So, because it won't let me do anything else from here. But it's weird, though, that it actually displays text properly, though, too.
Oh, this.
Okay, everybody, so we got into the BIOS of this thing, and that's somewhat hope. That means it actually didn't post completely, but we're in the BIOS, which shows it's not dead completely yet. It has life in it. It's not a speed demon by a long shot, but all right, let's see what happens. So please don't crash. Oh. Well, no, it's because this, so I know it's doing that. Come on. Oh, don't fall. Oh, come on, you came out so easy earlier.
So earlier.
I think I may have been shorting it, touching it. But just make sure it's not touching anything. Okay, as before, we went and tried a bunch of things. We found out the little Wi-Fi antenna thing was kind of bouncing around in there and was shorting it out every time we moved it. We eradicated that problem. And now we've got it running. We don't have network hooked up to it right now. But we got into BIOS, and then I was like, you know what? Let's just throw Linux on there again. Linux is always the answer, everybody. If you don't know that, coffee and Linux is always the answer. And duct tape if you have real problems. Anyway, we're not going to go any further with this PC because we need a drive, which we don't have. I am pretty sure from looking at the BIOS and trying to get it to boot, the internal hard drives that I think started onto the board is dead. Luckily, it's still booting and not causing a trip error for it to just shut down. So it's working. But that goes to show you, hey, if it ain't working, maybe Linux will work. Be a slogan, I don't know. We're back with the third PC. Like I said, this one's the oldest, and old is, it's kind of ancient. It's not as ancient as the laptop though, which a part 2 is gonna be coming. We're getting some parts to it. It's just a long time coming, but it'll eventually be out. So stay tuned and remember to subscribe, like, all that fun stuff. But this computer right here, this tower, for one, it's older than the motherboard. We have 2 optical media drives here. One has IDE, so it's not even connected because the motherboard has no IDE connections or anything like that because it wouldn't work. You'd have to need a converter and all that stuff. You want to do that. But we do have a DVD-ROM, which was clearly being used. That is hooked up. And we have a nice little port thing that you can hook up, plug in like SD cards and stuff. Who knows how fast it is? It's probably not that fast, but it's something. And we have a single hard drive in here, which is, it's a Western Digital 500 gigs. No, it couldn't be that much.
This is a 2009 motherboard.
No, it's 500 gigs. Wow. And a really, really old Asus motherboard with an Athlon AMD processor with obviously no graphics card. It's running off of the APU. So, and a completely overkill Cooler Master power supply, 600 watts. It's a little worse for wear, but will the old girl run is the question. We got everything plugged in. I'm ready for smoke to start belling out of this thing, just to warn you, but we'll see. Hold on. Okay, it helps if you turn the power on. Yeah, I think the hard drive's dead. No, she's spinning. She is spinning. Okay, everybody, you know what's about to happen here. You know what's about to happen. Copy of Linux. So Linux on there again. If it ain't working, maybe Linux will work. This is what's about to happen.
Grim's gonna hate this video.
If this will work. I don't know how much the USB is gonna like this drive, but okay, come on, thing. I know you've been through some stuff, but okay. Now, okay, so the old girl turned on. She has some life in her. I don't think that hard drive does, though. She's spinning, but I've seen cars from like the original Model T era sound better. As you can see on the screen, press enter to enter, obviously, whatever media you have, which we can't do. And for all you watching, I'm going to give you 3 seconds to answer to yourself or in the comments below why I can't do anything past this screen. 3, 2, 1. If you answered because I need a PS2 compatible keyboard, you are right. Because I do. This one will not communicate with BIOS over USB, unfortunately. So, because we can't get it to boot, it's, yeah, the keyboard's getting power, but that's it. It's not talking to the motherboard at all. It doesn't do anything. So, and unfortunately, we don't have a USB to PS2 converter at the moment. But it shows this machine does have life left in it. We just have to do a little more work to get it working, which we're not going to do on this video. This was more lines this video. So in the end, everybody, this is a story of old hardware isn't always ready to get set out to pasture. You can use them for a lot of things. This machine right here, like I recommended to our client, it can be a great little XP machine. You can put a version of XP on here that is somewhat updated so you can't get viruses that people are working on independently. I might leave a link in the video below to that project, which is a pretty cool project. Or what I would do personally, put Linux on it and have it as obviously an older hardware gaming machine. Because it'd be great to run, obviously, turn of the century games and stuff, and just have a nice little machine to just do that. So do have to give a shout out to another site that is the only site for downloading games, and I wish more of them would do this, that have 0 DRM in any of their games, which is GOG. And obviously that site is, a big portion of that site is a lot of older games that could easily run on hardware like this very, very well. So don't throw something out so easy. You can repurpose it for many things, like that little tiny box PC we got running. We just need a drive for it. It can get running. It can be a great little portable like emulation machine, a little Plex server, anything, media server, and little, well, I would say Android box, but a media box. You can run Kodi or something like that, hook it up to your TV, your home entertainment center, and just have it run, you know what I mean, play your streaming services. There's a lot of things you can do with this hardware. It doesn't need to go to e-waste. We don't need to keep on throwing out everything. So in the end, save old hardware, get it up and running, or give it to someone that is willing to get it up and running and use it. Because it can all be used, doesn't have to be thrown in the trash. Thank you for watching this video. Remember, like, comment, and subscribe. And we'll be back soon with a part 2 to the compact video, because we're going to get some hardware, and we're going to get it up and running, and we're going to figure out what's going on with it, because we did make some breakthroughs. I found the original service manual for techs to work on that laptop. So hopefully that's a good sign. We're going to get up and running, because we're going to put a hard drive in it. We're going to put more RAM in it. We're going to Obviously, the display, we're not going to get a new display because it'd be a little pricey. Try to get it working, but we are going to hook it up to a monitor because we got cables to do that as well. That being a modern monitor too, because we got the converter from VGA to HDMI. So stay tuned for that video because that's going to be really cool once we get that thing up and running, because that is going to be running Haiku, which is pretty cool. If you ever know what Haiku is, it's a Linux. And if you like watching old systems like this getting up and running, go check out the channel Action Retro. He is absolutely one of the best YouTubers for watching this kind of content. So if you never checked him out, or if you found us from watching one of the videos and we got recommended, hey, thanks for watching. This is not what we always do, but we're glad you watch. But if you haven't, go check out Action Retro. Really, really cool YouTuber. But we'll see you next time.